Chaz Show, where we
Mac and
talk about
Chaz. I'm Chaz.
yeah, exactly, and that's Chaz, and so that would make me Mac. And we have this podcast to talk about life, adversity, our being fallible, and most importantly, how to ways that we've discovered for ourselves, and ways that I personally am in a constant state of learning, a perpetual student on how to rise from those things and learn and grow and improve. Now, the information posted or discussed on this show or in links provided by the show are not to be interpreted as legal advice or a recommendation regarding any of the legal or social issues discussed herein. So nothing on this show should ever be interpreted in any way as constituting legal, psychological advice. All of the content is for general information purposes only. Always seek the advice of a qualified professional regarding any issues that may interest you. All right, Chaz, how you doing today?
Doing good. Mac, I just, I was listening to you on the intro there and thinking, life is what we face every morning when we put our feet on the ground. And we have there's many ways to approach it. But I found the best way is to tackle it as opposed to letting it push you around.
Oh, most certainly, absolutely, and that's why we're doing this. I hope that somebody else will watch this and think, oh my gosh, I could use that. I could make things a little better for my life in that way. And I know the first show that we did was on discipline, and today we are going to tackle. And I posted this on Facebook just a little while ago, and I really apologize, but I tell you what, you're one of my victims of this. My greatest weakness is being and staying organized.
It's not easy, is it?
So,
Because in my notes here, I'm looking at it. It says the things are: I can't find it, I can't remember, I didn't accomplish my goals. I mean, we all go through that, right? It's all something that we have to tackle every day. And it's like, how many times have we spent minutes and minutes, or maybe even an hour, looking for that thing or that idea, that piece of paper, and we just wasted like 30 minutes to an hour or more looking for something that we
right.
could have had at our fingertips. So
But see, here's the thing. Oh, go ahead.
well, we're going to talk about, different techniques on there. We're going to offer up a book that people can read. It may not be exactly oriented towards organization, but it will help you because organization and routine go hand in hand. But anyway, that's what I had to say. And go ahead, Mac. You got something on your mind, I can tell.
Well, the funny thing with my perpetual, it seems, disorganization is that, and I'm very proud to say this, I'm a minimalist, which doesn't mean that I don't have nice things. It means that I don't live in excess. And so you would think if anybody would be organized or it would be easy for anybody to be organized, it would be a minimalist. Nope. And I'll tell you one thing that I did prior to going on the air with you right now is that I actually created a folder for you, so that whenever this is huge. So whenever you send me something, it's going to come up in a totally different thing. So I'm not scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, or even having to put in the search. And I'm going to put in Charles and whatever.
It's
No
true.
more. So you have your own folder.
Especially when you're like me, I'm an information hoarder. I hoard information, pieces of paper with stuff on it. I'm an anti-sticky note person because it just overwhelms me to have sticky notes everywhere. They're small, easy to get lost. But I spent this morning on my computer organizing files for this show and files for other
Yeah.
projects I'm doing. And I'm going, well, that doesn't really belong there. I won't find it. So I've started moving files back and forth, trying to put them in folders where I could find them, just like you did. You know, you
Yeah.
put it in a folder. You got a folder for Chaz. Wow, I'm on the map. Yeah,
It's a big step. It's a big step because nobody else has a folder.
but
I
it
should
took.
I should I should take a picture of my monitor. I will in a little bit. My it's funny how you say your anti-sticky note. So I've got these yellow sticky notes, and they're on my monitor, and it looks like a lion's mane
All around, right?
surrounding my laptop. Yeah, gosh, geez, I'm a mess.
Well, you know what though? I mean, if so there's a project for you to work on, right? Is just eliminating sticky notes. Now, having said that, I just want this is an opportune time. You know, technology is great, and we can do a lot of things. We work on slides and passing notes back and forth via, the internet, so we can
Mhm.
organize the show. But
Yeah.
I use a book too. See, we have pages. Let me get it in front of the camera there. I use a book, right? Well,
Yeah.
one of the cool things that I was able to do, and it's not in this book because I have many of these. This is just a composition book. You can buy them at dollar store for $1. And
Oh,
I have
sure. Okay. Yeah.
on one of my other books, I just ran out of them, but I have on the back page, I have a plastic pocket. And when I got something I want to put in the book, but I don't have time to do it, I put it inside that plastic pocket and then come back to it later. And so people will say, wow, you got all this technology you can use. But you know what? I've seen a ton of people who have the technology who have no
Mhm.
idea how to use the technology. I used to work in a shipping center, and people would come in and want to ship something. And I say, okay, where are you shipping it to?
Right.
They pick up their iPhone and start flipping. 10 minutes later, they're still flipping through their emails. And it's like, seriously, you couldn't
Well,
highlight or tag that email so you could find the address? And it's crazy.
okay. Yes.
So
Uh,
there's ways to do it though. There is so much technology on the iPhones and on the smartphones now that if you really sat down and spent a little bit of time learning about it, man, your life would get so much better.
so here's the funny thing, and it's about progression, not perfection, right? Let's just
Right.
say that. So I found prior to doing the show it looks like a really cool app. It's called Todoist, not to do list, but it's the Todoist. And so I wanted to go and download that app onto my iPad, which I use my iPad more than I use my phone. And although I've recently started using my banana phone. Okay, so if you haven't seen this yet, I did put this up. It's a real phone. Well, no, it's not. It connects Bluetooth. So if I'm connected Bluetooth to my phone and somebody were to call me, it would ring to this phone. Hello, Tarzan. Okay. Anyway, so getting back. So I find this Todoist app, and I'm reading all of the the index on it. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I need, because it separates tasks and appointments and and everything goes all into one place. It's like Google Calendar on steroids. Here's the problem. So I go and I try and put it on my iPad, but I have to remember what my password is. Oh, wait now. So I have something that I downloaded a while ago to help me organize all of my passwords called LastPass. I can't find it.
I have a tip. I have a tip for you. Would you like to hear my tip?
Okay.
This is for
Hit
people
me.
like you and me who hate remembering passwords. So on your keyboard, instead of doing something like, I'll just use it, Mac 22222, do a pattern, right? So if you're looking
Okay.
at a normal QWERTY keyboard, if you start with
Yes.
X, go to SW2, just a straight line.
Oh.
Or if you don't like that,
Okay.
you can go up and come back down. So it'll be XSW23 EDC. Just do
Pretty
patterns. Then you
clever.
only have to remember patterns. You don't have to remember letters and
Oh my
numbers.
God. Absolutely. That's great. That's
I used to
fantastic.
use that at a place I worked at because they required these really strong passwords. And I'm like,
Yeah.
holy cow, I can never remember that. And they're not supposed to write it down. So I just started
No,
using
because I mean, it just,
patterns on the keyboard.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
if you
Writing
do
it down
that,
defeats the whole purpose of it.
right. So if you do the pattern thing, all of a sudden you don't have to remember this stuff. You just have to remember the first letter, right? The first letter is X. I know where to go from X. And I just kept shifting that password every time we needed a new one over one line. So even if I couldn't remember where I was supposed to start, if I remembered the old one, I knew where the new one started because it was the next set over.
Yeah.
And it's a good password too, right?
Right.
They're strong because they make no sense. And they have the proper, you can use your characters if you're like your symbols in it if you need to, but it has numbers and it has letters. And you can capitalize the first one. So anyway, there's my tip for the day for you, Mac.
Unless a hacker is watching this program, and then they just kind of think, where did Charles start off?
Yeah, well, they could do it, but it would take them a while, right? Because
Sure.
they'd
Sure.
have to start at the bottom line if you started there, or the next line up, or the next line up. And did he go backwards or forwards? Did he go sideways or at a diagonal? I mean, you can set this up anyway, so it would be, very, very difficult for someone to figure out.
So one of the things that helped me out today, my own personal life hack, other than setting a folder for yourself, is also, I realized last night that it isn't that I'm not accountable. It's that in this area I'm really bad at it, and so I have you kind of you're keeping me accountable. You're expecting me to be accountable, and for that I'm more likely to show up than instead of well, I got this to do or that to do and whatever. So I think finding an accountability buddy is one of my life hacks right now that I just realized in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, it is interesting how your approach to organization can be impacted by other people. Right. So just like you, I have accountability to another person that I do a show with, and I'm responsible for, production of the show that we do. So
Right.
I know that I have to do that because this other person is expecting me to do it. And so it keeps me focused because there's somebody out there that I have to be accountable to.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting alone on an island by myself and it's like, I can crack that coconut later, man.
Sure. Yeah, my favorite personal quote is "Jump off that bridge when I come to it." Here's another life hack that that I've recently started, and that was I just shared with you that I moved. I got a different place now than I had a couple weeks ago, and so even though I'm a minimalist and I have very little things, they were all in boxes. Not everything was meant for this room or that room. It was just kind of all in one place. And so what I've done is dumped everything out. And I've spent pretty much the last week doing what I did to become a minimalist a few years ago in the first place, which is deciding, what do I need? Okay. like if I haven't thought of or used or needed something in like 3 months, I'm gonna donate it. Um, I'll decide to to store it better. I'll sell it or throw it away. And so those are things that I'm doing as I'm kind of getting myself settled into a new place right now with all
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. And I've done some of that myself, gone through things and going, don't need this, don't need this, need this, don't need
No,
this, and just start,
yeah,
come up with a box of stuff that, you know, I don't need anymore, and it's going in the trash or being donated or sold or whatever you want to do with it. But at any rate, it's leaving the building. This Elvis box
yes,
is leaving the building. And maybe that's what we should call it,
exactly.
the Elvis box.
Yeah, this box, I love it. And this is one area of my life where I'm actually more. I'm not all the way organized, but I'm more organized in this area of my life than any other. And one of the other things that I do to kind of keep my closet organized is if I buy a shirt goes.
You know,
I,
I set
but
that rule up.
that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody.
Well, I know who it's
Um,
for, though. It's for my wife. I finally got one day, I told her, look, you buy a new pair of shoes, you get rid of a pair of shoes because she has more shoes, than
yeah,
than God. And it's like, you're not wearing these, get rid of them, give them to somebody. And then, so
right.
she does wear her shoes out, though. I got to say that. Uh, Mac,
Oh
I
well,
want
that's
to
good.
do a little bit of a version here, and I want to share a screen for a book, and then we can get back on our
Okay,
conversation. Um,
do it.
I always like to make things easy as possible for people.
Okay, sure, sure.
Here it comes. It's
Okay.
coming. There it is. Goal setting. This is a book by Martin Kane. And it's nice. I've been into the book. I've looked at it. Uh, I've read some of it, and it's free on Amazon. If you have a Kindle reader, you can
Oh,
download this book for free, and you can become goals and oriented. And we can talk about goals a little bit. And I want to show you just one small item here, if I can find it.
yeah. I appreciate you sharing this book with me. I see you sent me a link, and I want to open that up. And
Yeah. So
yeah.
this is not the one I want. I bet it's this one. There it is. This is out of the book. And here's the thing: it struck me because this is what I need to do. Write it down. And this is a quote by Albert Einstein that's in the book. It says, "Paper is to write things down that we need to remember. Our brains are used to think."
Right.
And you can take that to the technology level and say, all right, this is something I need to put in my notes on my computer so I can find it later and organize it.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
were talking about that piece of software that you had gotten for your iPad, but there's another one out there. It's called Time and Chaos, and I use this in my time in business. And what it does is it puts your calendar, your notes, and files and everything right on one page. And when you go in there, you can make your appointments. It reminds you of appointments. It keeps track of your address book and your phone number, and it does it all in one page. So you can
Time and
just click on
chaos.
one and open it up.
I got it. And
So
and
go ahead.
no, well, as far as writing stuff down, well, I wrote that down, but I keep this next to my bed because so often I like a lot of people, I go to bed and I'll be 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't turn my head off. And so if I have something, I got to take care of, it's right here. Um, so that helps me shut my brain off, and then I can sleep a lot better that way. But
That's
that's
interesting,
something I
right?
do right
Yeah.
there.
So you have a technique for allowing yourself to get relaxed, and that is by transferring that information somewhere else and getting it out of your head so you can say, okay, I wrote it down. I don't have to think about
Yeah,
it for the next 8 hours.
right, exactly. So that's an organizational life hack that I've been practicing for a little while now, and it helps me. Mostly it helps me get to sleep, but then I have it with me and I tear off the page and I'll go to my day hustle, my the job I have during the day, and I'll bring this with me and I have it posted right up. And when I go on breaks, if it's somebody I got to call or whatever, then and it gets done. I check it off. So this is something that I've gotten good at, as opposed to the rest of the stuff that I'm still working on.
Well, this is one of the things that, and I'm going to put up this other, hang on for me here, this other slide. And I'm going to share this with you and everyone that's watching right now, is that organization takes time, right? And this is a quote from Benjamin Franklin. It says, "For every minute spent organizing, an hour is earned." So a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, is I don't have time to do that right now. I got to do something else. But if you just take that minute and organize something or write it down like you do, write it down and make your to-do list, you're going to save hours later. You're going to be more focused on what you're doing.
I love that, and we've got some Facebook comments. Let's see.
Yeah, I got them up here in front of me.
Yeah, my friend Jennifer says she can't function if she's not organized. And you know what? I've met Jennifer a few times, and she seems like this very together person. Something I wish I'd strive to be. She's very stressful if she doesn't keep on her stuff. She feels like she's drowning if not organized. Jillian, this is a sister that I found. We share the same father, Jillian.
Wow.
So Jill is, she's over in England, and we talk often via Skype, but she said her calendar is hanging up in the kitchen when she remembers to look at it. And lastly, Lillian, who is related to my sister in England, says 2 cups of black coffee, 3 Marlboro while I write my to-do list. That's her survival plan.
And I thinking about not looking at the calendar. We are so pressed for time in this world. I mean, people are running around trying to make a living, trying to get things done, and they're being distracted a lot. People get distracted by others who are disorganized. But it takes time, and part of being organized is having a routine, because it makes it easier. It's like, I know what you told me on the last show, that you have this thing where you do with your food. You set up your canisters, you put your food in, you get organized, and you do that as a routine.
Sunday nights, yes, I prepare my week.
Yeah, you prepare your week.
And so it helps to cancel out eating poorly. For me, that's the main reason. But it doesn't mean that I don't stick some things in. That's another area, but we'll get to that one too.
Yeah.
But I'm better at that now than I was before. So again, progression, not perfection.
Right. Right. Because what is it? Perfection is not a destination; it's a journey.
There you go. Absolutely.
So I got a couple more notes here for us. Let me just pull them up real quick.
While you're doing that, we were talking about calendar, and I live by the Google Calendar because I have other people that put things on there for me, for the theater and for work, for some of the I got the TV show coming up. So it all goes on there. So I can see every day. It just pops right up either on my iPad or on my laptop here. Boom. Here's what I got going on. So I'm forced to look at my calendar. But please, yes.
Okay. So I guess got a point here that I thought about, is that organization doesn't have to be precise. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to work. And the example I'll use is when people save their receipts for, like, let's say their tax returns, you don't have to have a folder for each category, right? So you can have one box or two, right?
Mhm.
Food receipts and everything other than food receipts, and just throw them in the box. You just walk in the house, boom, it goes in the box. You know it's there.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. Some people have like a dozen file folders for that, and I personally couldn't do that because, one, I'd have to open up a drawer. Two, find the folder that it's supposed to go in, and if it's one of those gray areas, I might have to think about it for a while. If you got a box or two, boom, it goes in there. We'll worry about it at
Right.
tax time, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that way you have them, right? And that's
Right.
probably the major thing is, like, if you put receipts or papers in every drawer in the house, you got a big search and destroy mission going on trying to find those things. So you got to have a system, right? So get some boxes, guy. Boxes are cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see great things ahead for you.
I'm working on it. I really am. This is by far my worst area that bleeds into other areas. It not being organized makes everything worse. It causes worry, loss of sleep. Um, and so yeah, I mean, this is something I really have to master. Is, you know what? I should have. Wonder if I text her now, because this is a life hack I'd like to share with everybody. Do I have my phone? It's probably behind me, but I'm connected by a wire. I don't want to get up and go get it. I bet it's somewhere behind me. My daughter had. Oh. Just realized the whole sound effect of my digging
Through papers. It's
a
perfect.
pile on my
It's,
desk.
it's absolutely perfect. Those are the papers you were supposed to put away earlier.
Yeah. There it is. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. All right. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna text her and see if she responds to us while we're still broadcasting. But so what other notes do you have to share? Because
Okay, so I got another one here. Is that, if you have some kind of organizational system that's not working, you have to fix it. If it's too complicated, you need to bring it back down to a lower level. If it's not complicated enough or not detailed enough, then you need to go farther ahead with it. But always be ready to make adjustments in your system. And you'll find in as time goes by that, like you were saying, be less stress going on in your life, and you'll be more
absolutely,
effective and more productive.
absolutely. Let me see. I'll see if she responds to me.
Okay. So anyway,
yeah, go ahead, please.
anyway, I can attest to organization is that trying to find like video files, and because I do, I have set up the movie channel. I have a movie channel now, and I'm beginning to load up.
You were telling me.
I'm beginning to load up files. But what I decided in advance was, we're not going to go through this thing where I have files everywhere all over the computer. I set up a special folder for that particular platform, and my files go in that folder. I like it.
It's my kid. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So in this case, I have more than one channel, and there's going to be more channels coming. But I have the movie channel, and then I have it's called what is it? Media Movie Classics is what the channel is. And I have a separate folder for that. And then I have a folder for the other channel, which is Media Resort. And Media Resort is going to be places where people can post their videos, creative people who have videos. This is going to be like an open forum type thing where if you have a video, we can post it there for you, and then we'll set up a fee so people can give you an upvote or whatever they want to do to watch your video or use it. somewhere. So I have a folder for that. So I'm going to make sure that I stay organized in order to get that done. And that requires me to make folders and subfolders, but I'm telling you, it works out good.
You are my guru. And so is my kid. I tell you what, I mean, both my girls, my daughter Caitlin has this organization thing down, and I don't know, it's KonMari. If so, this is more for like, I think like organizing your home and your closet, your cabinets, and that sort of thing. So this is a life hack I'd like to share with anybody that's watching this.
Yeah.
KonMari, KonMary.
Okay. Yeah, it shows up there good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And she posted about it on Facebook, and the transformation that her cabinets and everything have gone through is just like, really, it was so admirable. So that's something that, some of you are watching that, you have a lot of stuff. Maybe that'll help you.
Okay. And this is a product is what we're talking about?
So I don't know. so it's a method that she's using.
Okay, it's a method.
And so I'm guessing that it's something that you can find on Amazon or maybe even YouTube. I bet you there are demonstrations of this. What's that? Feng Shui.
Feng Shui, organizing yourself in your rooms into different.
So it almost has like that thing to it. So
I think that a lot, and what we have to consider in all this is when people are organizing, it's got to fit your format for your person, right? Your organizational system won't work for me, and mine probably won't work for you. It has to be something that you're going to be able to use, right? You're going to have to be able to actually get some results from it. If you're using someone else's system and you're just tripping all over it and it's not working, there's a reason for that. Your brain is set up in a certain way, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to use your patterns and your habits and characteristics to form your organization. And it'll work.
Agreed.
You'll know right away if it's working for you or not.
Well, yeah, because for me, I'll know right away because I won't do it.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Yeah. So it's got to, this ADHD and everything, that I'm dealing with. I got to keep everything. It's got to be simple, or I'm a squirrel. So
you have a short attention span. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do.
So yeah. So but you know what? That's the cool thing is you know it and you're going to deal with it the best way you can, right?
Yeah.
It's like, let's use a physical example for myself. In my left eye, I can hardly see out of that thing at all, even with glasses. I can see objects in motion. I can't read. If I lost my right eye or lost use of it, I would not be able to drive. It's that bad, right?
I did not know this.
And so I've just gone through life and made do with this one, right?
Huh.
I have a physical limitation, but I've adjusted to the physical limitation.
Right.
I've had this since I was a child, so I've learned to deal with it and work through it.
Wow.
But it's like,
I had no idea.
It sounds worse than it is because I'm doing fine, right?
Yeah.
The reason I know when it really shows itself is when I'm trying to read. Because if you look at how eyes work, your eyes, the vision actually overlaps like this, right? So the middle ones here, one eye is seeing the same thing the other eye is seeing. Well, my eyes don't work that way. They try to, but they don't work that way because of the one eye doesn't function properly. So that means I have to read, go back, read, go back, read. So I'm doing this overlap thing. What I did find was that if I have something on the computer that I'm reading, if I expand it or enlarge it, it solves the problem. I can breeze through stuff. So I just have to use larger print when I'm reading. And the glasses do help. You know, they do help.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see you fine. You're clear as a bell on my screen here, and I can see my own image on my side, and I can see my slides. It's fine. But I had to adjust. And so that's how the organizational thing is, right? Your organizational system has to work for you.
Exactly. Hold on, I lost you. Oh, good.
I'm back.
Wow. Yeah, man. I didn't know you were dealing with that, but it's impressive that you just, you handle
It's
it.
not even that I'm dealing with it. It's just something that's been with me. It's like
It
having,
is what it is.
yeah, it's like having one leg shorter than the other. You just learn to deal with it, right?
So I have a situation, it doesn't have anything to do with the topic whatsoever, but just so very quickly I'll touch on it. I can't turn my neck. I have to use my torso to turn my neck. That's the truth. I can't. It's like if you were to try and bend your finger, your thumb back to your wrist, I can't do it, but it doesn't hurt. I'm not put out by it or, any means like that at all. I find ways of dealing with it, just like you're doing with that. But
Yeah.
anyway, so back on the topic.
Yeah, but in organization, you need to find something that works for you. If you have limitations, whether they be mental or physical limitations, you just got to find a plan that works with those things. So that was just my point that I was making.
Have you thought of what you'd like to talk about next week or next time?
I think developing routines and habits. You think that's a natural outflow from this conversation?
I love it. Routines and habits. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
We can talk about our routines and the habits that we've developed that keep us on track, and the ones that don't, the bad habits, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm writing it down.
Okay. That sounds great. All right. And so with that, have you anything else to share?
No, I am all shared out.
Okay. All right. Well, the links to the book, we'll provide that for you folks that are watching this, and we look forward to providing this for you again. These are things that work for us. You will find things that work for you, and we're always open to suggestions, comments, thoughts. And now that you know, especially too, what we're going to be talking about next time, if there's something that you'd like to share, Chaz, where can they share that at?
They can. Well, that's a good point. Where would we want them to send that to? They can send to our emails or.
Not to mine.
Not to your, too much for you.
Yeah, that's right.
How about on Facebook?
Send it to you. You'll get it. Facebook. Yeah, why not? Yeah. I mean, we can make a post like I did today.
We could probably even try a live broadcast one day on Facebook.
Hey. All right. I'm game for it.
So
that would be the one day where everything.
We'll get a few of these under our belt, and we'll give it a shot and see how it works.
Like it.
And so that would be great. Nothing new on that. We'll take a look at routines and habits. I'll try to find a book for that. And remember the Amazon book or the book on Amazon is a Kindle book. It's free. All you need is the Kindle reader to use that.
Right. And you'll
have Kindle for PC as well.
There we go. Okay. All right. Well, thanks. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
We'll talk soon. Thanks, Mac.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye.